Right, okay. So, a bit of an unexpected March. Yeah, I think you need to maybe give a bit of context before we go into this.
Okay, guys, so we are at the end of March. Video feels a bit different to at the end of Feb. So at the end of Feb, we obviously had amazing mastermind just wrapped up. Loads of clients flying in Dubai from all over. And yeah, vibes were high. Vibes were high. I wouldn't say vibes are low now. I'd say life sometimes throws things at you and brings about uncertain circumstances to your life. And we can look at this in two ways. We can look at this in terms of like, oh, I just wish things were like February again. Or we can look at it from another side and say, okay, does this uncertain time bring about better memories in the future? Does it give us opportunity sometimes to reset, come closer to the people around you, build more of a community with the people around you? Does it end up being a point that makes the end of April or the end of May or the end of June even more fulfilling, even more successful to you? And that's kind of how I'm feeling now. So slightly a different feeling, but I think we should all get comfortable with the idea of not actually wanting every month to be the same, not actually wanting everything to be going exactly the way you thought it would be all the time, because it doesn't teach us much. It doesn't give us many lessons. Honestly, like going into March, I kind of knew it was going to be a different month anyway, even besides everything that's happened here in Dubai. Like I even said it to Kez, I was like, you're going to kill me, but there's not going to be much content from March, because I knew it was a month where I wanted to sit down, focus, and drive on with business, drive on with execution, drive on with delivery with clients. And I think, to be honest, people can be stuck in too many ways where they'll have an amazing thing that happens to them in one specific month, and they crave that, and then they don't show up in the same way when that's not happening. And then they kind of like live for that to happen again. Yeah, they can just never balance the two. And it's getting the ability of like looking kind of on a bigger scale and saying, okay, for me to create the life I want, the business I want, deliver the results I want, make the money that I want, each month is going to look different. And it's not wishing that time away. It's understanding to like enjoy the whole journey that comes with it. Obviously, with that, there's been some more unprecedented things that happened here in Dubai with everything going on with the missiles and the drones and huge amount of people that we know that have left. But yeah, how are you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting month to say the least. I think I was finally getting to a point of feeling quite stable. I'm quite new to Dubai. I've been here for 8 months, getting stability with the business, highest paid month in February, and then in March.
You're welcome. Not joking.
Mastermind out.
Not joking.
But yeah, with March coming in, it has been, of course, quite unexpected. And with that uncertainty means that everybody's got to make their own decision what they think is best for them. But that has meant that, people haven't come over to Dubai. People have been leaving Dubai. So I went from kind of fully booked to a point where, I'm actually looking around and going, I'm quite limited on work at the moment. And also it's not going to be top of people's priority is filming content. So it means adapting, pivoting. But one thing that I have noticed off the back of all of this is the sense of community and the strength of that community that's been built. Funnily enough, a lot of my friends are actually your clients that met at the mastermind. And, I'm just keen to understand a little bit more about where you've been at, because I personally, from, outside looking in, I know you've really leaned into community. I think you've definitely been really calming. I'm just keen to hear a little bit more about how you've gone about handling this situation with everybody around you, as well as just how you're feeling within yourself too.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think one of the main things for me is, it's like, okay, how can you show up in a personal and a professional way? It's something I'm a big believer in as a coach, particularly whether it's a fitness coach, whether it's a business coach, showing up for your clients in a way that regardless of what's happening in your life, you're there for them. And I want to be able to coach in a way that even if I got the worst news ever, that I would still be able to show up to a coaching call or to communicate with a client in a way that they didn't know. I think that's what clients deserve, and I think that's kind of like my role professionally to do. But I also don't want to be only on that side, which keeps me with this like no emotion no heart, just like this kind of professional standpoint that can show up for people personally. So obviously now in Dubai, like you said, a lot of our group is like clients of mine. So I'm very lucky to be like very close friends with clients. So it's like, hey, showing up for them in a professional standpoint and in a personal standpoint. So even like last Thursday was, okay, there's an area of Dubai that overnight we kind of heard news about. Knowing one of my clients lives there, having to message them in the morning saying, just wanted to check in on you, everything good. And also knowing that same client, and obviously other clients are coming on a workshop later that day that I need to prepare for. So I was like, I want to, one, be there for someone on a personal standpoint and have that side, but I also need to switch that to professional mode of like, hey, there's clients relying on me. Reliability is something, like if I said one thing I wanted to be known for and I hope I'm known for, I'd love to say like that, you know, if Connor says he's going to do something, he's going to do it, and being reliable. So being able to have those two sides, it's challenging. Like that day in particular was actually a day, for whatever reason, I just got a bit emotional about the whole thing that was happening. It was like caring for people and then also feeling like you don't have that much power in which you can control to help them out, but wanting to be there for them. And it's tough.
It's really difficult. And I think, you know, it is very strange because Dubai has continued to operate in a pretty normal fashion despite everything going on. And it's really difficult when you, not only are you showing up for your clients, for your friends, for people that are here in this situation, but I don't know about you, I think that there is a lot of propaganda, a lot of news and social media going out there to our families back home. And then they're also going to be concerned, worried about you. So you're showing up for them too, in a lot of ways, capacity, I believe.
Yeah, well, funny enough, I think on that, it's trying to, I think that's probably the most important place to bring the calming energy. And like, I was able to get my mom from being really worried to kind of like laughing about like what I'd be saying. I'd be like, oh, I was driving with the roof down, chilling. I was like, it's fine, don't worry. And I actually told her I fell asleep at the pool. I was like, I'm fine. I was like, I even fell asleep at the pool yesterday. And she's like, Connor. But like her hearing that, even though like in the moment she's like, be careful, there's definitely like a feeling of like reassurance of like, okay, he's definitely okay. He feels comfortable and whatever. So yeah, definitely showing up for my parents and my sister in a way of like, I was like, it's genuinely no stress. I'm all good over here.
Yeah.
And you know, that brings, and then they're like, geez, you know, and then I kind of see it more from my perspective. Obviously, of course, still being worried, but definitely being able to, I'm sure, sleep a lot easier with how I'm kind of communicating with them.
And I do think it's so important for just how we are when we're around other people, how we show up, the person that we want to show up as you would say normally as well. Because, you know, it's of course, it's an extreme situation. It's not normal. It feels, you know, extreme.
Actually, on that point, that's the one thing I've actually struggled with a bit of wanting to be there for people, but also not wanting to worry them. So even using the water example, I was like, hey, just in case it happens, I would like, this is just on my mind, so I want to do this. But is me doing this potentially going to worry the person more, being like, okay, like why is Connor giving me like a few weeks stock of water or whatever?
So the context of that is there was news going out about the targeting desalination plants where is it 80 or 90% of the water in Dubai is generated through that.
And I saw someone who I would, they're quite like in the loop, I respect their opinion. They're like, you should stock up on water. And I didn't even stock up myself, but I immediately went into like, okay, what addresses do I have on my like Deliveroo? Yours being one. And just fucking ship over loads of water and be like, you're stocked up in case something happens.
Times 30 litres more. Like,
sorry.
Is he feeling okay? No, I'm joking.
I know. Very dad mode. It's awesome.
But it is important. And I think, you know, when I was feeling a little bit anxious one night, because the whole thing, I feel like I've shown up in the way that I wanted to and have been quite calm about it as well, because you can't control it, right? So I think it's important that we try our best to be present, show up for ourselves, show up for other people in a calm manner, in a calm fashion. But I was feeling anxious one night and I was like, do you have 5 minutes? I just need to talk this out loud to someone and get your thoughts and your opinions on it. And again, just even in that short conversation of just almost that sense of, okay, reassurance when this, because this isn't normal, and we're all individuals, right? We've all moved out to Dubai. We don't have family here. We have friends. We have our community that we've built up. But it means sometimes, it's really scary when you're in your apartment alone and you're hearing what's going on out there. And sometimes just having that person to speak to is really important. So yeah, very unexpected month.
What you can take away, hopefully, from this month is, you will, at some point, whether you're in it now, whether in the future, be put through maybe something that you didn't see coming, just completely out of left field. And there's different ways that you can show up. And I think firstly, like, show up in a way that feels right for you and completely respect. People can handle situations like this, in any way that they feel is right for them. Sometimes it's looking at like, okay, what way do I want to show up here? Because sometimes when we're going through something unprecedented, we don't even know how to respond and what to do. So I've kind of had moments like that and said, okay, I don't really know how I should be showing up, but I know how I want to be showing up. And how can I lead with that way? And how can I kind of like look back on this period and be like, you know what, I'm kind of proud of how I showed up during this time. And if you lead in with that, it allows you to kind of make decisions around that. So for me personally, that was wanting to actually stay in Dubai, because I believe in loyalty and respect when respect is shown to me. A country that has opened me in with open arms. I've had an amazing 5 years here. It's given me so much, and obviously the country has been booming. So as soon as something starts to happen, does it sit right with me to get up and leave and say, hey, see you later, thanks for that, but you don't serve me anymore? I believe that a country like this, it can be a relationship, it can be a friendship. It's not just through the highs, it's not just through the amazing moments. Regardless of like what impact this has me in the short term, I think if you can build your life around that type of mindset of, okay, yeah, I'm going to be with you when, it's sunshines and rainbows, but I'm also going to be there when it's not, because, you've shown up for me in a certain way, I'm going to show up for you in a certain way. And if you put that into your business, if you put that into your clients, if you put that into your relationships, if you put that into a country, I believe you'll live a much happier, more impactful, and more fulfilling life, have a lot more memories and people to share those memories with.
Yeah, it's a very important point. Okay, so on to the next month.
On to April.
Hopefully see you in April.